Hey Manon, or Manon, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. The only thing I know how to say in French is omelette au fromage, and I'm probably saying that wrong too. Anyway, my name is Christian. You probably already know that. I'm a web developer. I'm originally from the west coast of America, Silicon Valley, San Francisco area. I now live in London, and it's cool. London's a cool city. I actually really love France too. It's one of my favorite places. I think my wife and I want to move there one day. But anyway, so I am something that you might call an conversion optimization specialist. And what that means is that I design sites, I build sites that convert better. That means that they sell better, they get more subscribers, get more digital downloads, that sort of thing. I'm very data driven. I'm not going to tell you about like the design of your site, except up to the point where it's going to affect like your conversion. I've built some sites in the past that at the end of the day, I didn't really like the way they look. They're not really modern design, right? But they convert really well. They make 7 figures every year. And so design isn't the most important thing to getting subscribers, to getting sales. Like the look and the beauty of it, I guess. It's more of a work of art, right? Anyway, so I'm going to use my data-driven knowledge, and rather than tell you about the design, I'll tell you about what you can do to get more subscribers, get more digital downloads, get more sales, and whatever it is that you happen to be after. Okay, cool. So I'm going to break this up into 2 parts. There's a kind of visual part, a visual aspect of it, and at the same time there's a technical aspect of it. And I'm going to start with the visual aspect because it's cooler. Yeah, so it looks okay. Your website looks fine, right? It's visually appealing. It's cool. I don't speak French except for omelette au fromage, and so I'm not going to pretend to know how compelling your copy is because it's going to totally depend on the people who speak French. But I will tell you this: there's a basic formula for how people view a website and how they interact with it, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how that should be done right here. Oh, I forgot to tell you. The reason I'm on a smartphone, you might be wondering why the hell is this idiot on a stupid iPhone when he's doing recording a video, and the reason is because in countries like the United States, I don't know what the stat is for France, but in countries like the United States, the internet traffic is ruled by smartphones. About 75% of all traffic comes from handheld smartphones. If you go to the Far East, Indonesia, for example, that number is much higher at 91%. Imagine that. 91% of all internet traffic comes from smartphones. And if you're driving traffic through Instagram like me, your number is probably higher than 75%. So mine is like 85%, something like that. Or come from mobile devices, and so it's just kind of staggering. So it's much more important what your website looks like on a mobile device, on a phone, than even on a desktop, which is probably what you build your blog on. So now back to it. Okay, so the visual aspect here. Here's the formula for kind of a winning conversion design. And I'm going to go ahead and go to my website. It's probably not the prettiest website you've ever seen, but it converts like crazy. And I'm sorry, I'm out on a walk. There might be a stray motorcycle here and there. But basically here, in our kind of Western world, everybody reads from left to right, right? What that translates to is pretty much everybody is a tendency, not an everybody all the time type of thing, but tendency to look at a website, at a billboard, at a wall, at everything from left to right and top to bottom. And they're going to settle in on this right here. So statistically speaking, what you should have is some compelling copy that starts from left to right, goes from top to bottom, and when it finishes, you have something called a call to action. That is, you're compelling your reader to do something. Now, I don't know what you want. For this, I want people to click on, for my website, I want people to click on free site analysis, because what that does is it gets me to creating to collecting their email address, and the free site analysis is actually what I'm doing for you right now. I used to do it in PDF format, but now I'm doing it in video. I'm trying it out. But anyway, so we go back. So the compelling copy here, what you're going to do is what you should do, and I do this kind of reverse, but what you should do is what you should be telling people, is who you are, and that's this right here. we handle the entire online experience. Sorry, what you do, who you are, what you do, and then why I should care. Why should I care? Why should the viewer care? What that I handle the entire online experience. It's because that allows my clients to focus on what they do, to writing their blogs, to cooking their food at their restaurant, to managing their hotel. Right? You focus on what you do. I handle the online experience. That's what I do. And so the point that I'm trying to make here is that I tell people what I do, and then I tell them why they should care. And then what I do is I give them these buttons. This is called a call to action. I have about a 90% click-through rate. 90% of the visitors on my website click one of these two buttons. And ideally I want them to click on the free site analysis, because that eventually leads to them giving me their email address. And so that is the entire objective with that. Okay, so that's I mean, that's not the whole visual aspect, but that's the basic formula for a conversion-ready site, to a winning conversion site. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna go back to your website. Yeah, it looks cool. You have really nice pictures. Again, I can't really judge. I mean, the language does make it so I can't be. I can't judge it for everything. But I don't normally, with my clients, I don't normally deal with copy anyway. So anyway, that's basically the visual part over, because there's not a whole lot more I can say. It's cool that, I mean, it looks like everything's displayed well. It shows up on a mobile device. It's good enough so that I can read it if I spoke French. And so yeah, basically from there we can move on to the technical aspect, because I think that's pretty good. I would say, you should have like buttons that say like a plus button over the image that says, read more, something like that. Something along those lines. Anyway, I'm actually on a walk and I'm lost here. I need to figure out where I am. Hold on a sec. Okay, it's telling me to get an Uber. Okay, so the technical aspect here. The entire objective of the technical aspect is going to be testing it for speed and kind of like your content management system. So most people do WordPress, but I'm going to go ahead and not assume that. There it is. But I use this little nifty tool to test the speed and kind of digital. I'm going to say, you're obviously in France, but your readers could be all over the world. I don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and pick the server closest to France, because I'm just going to assume that you have more there than anywhere else. Okay, so right away I see problems. 4.34 second load time and 33.3 megabytes of your site. That's a really, really big problem. The thing is, okay, hold on, okay, so you have a 4.34 second load time and 33.3 megabyte page size. That's a really big problem. When I build a website, I shoot for a 2 megabyte page load time and a 1 second, page size, a 2 megabyte page size and a 1 second load time. The reason that I shoot for those numbers, the main one is traffic and conversion. I mean, the main two are traffic and conversion, right? That's what we're talking about. The problem is that as soon as you hit a 3 second load time, you are losing about 40% of your traffic. Now, you lose traffic the longer you take. It doesn't matter. It just, but 3 seconds is like a convenient drop-off point, because it's like 3 seconds, right? 1, 2, 3. But as soon as your website takes longer than 3 seconds to load, you are costing yourself. Hey, so I did wait a whole day for that because I kind of got lost, and but now it's the next day, and I'm just going to continue. I'm going to freeze this frame, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit. So 4.34 seconds. I'm not sure exactly what I said yesterday, but the point that I was trying to make is that as soon as you hit above 3 seconds, what happens is you get a bounce rate of at least 40%. That means 40%, as soon as you hit 3 seconds, 40% of the people who go to your website hit the back button before your content even loads. And so that's obviously a big problem. You don't, for 40% of your traffic, you don't even have the chance to make an impression because of factors like your server speed and your page size. I know your page was like, I don't know, 33.8 megabytes, I think. They're 33.3, which is huge. And the biggest problem is probably your images. Yeah, so my advice to that would be get a better, more powerful server, 1, and 2, reduce the size of your images. You can do that by using a tool, something like, let's let's see. Compressor.io is a good way to do it. You can sometimes reduce your image size by, I don't know, 80% up to, I mean, it all depends. And there's a lossy and a lossless compression, which means a lossy is when it loses some like visual aspects, like the quality. It's not so bad that you would really notice on a mobile device, for example. But it is, like if you were to open it up on a desktop, you can maybe see a little bit in degradation in quality, but it's not so bad. It's actually pretty normal for websites to do that. So that's something I would definitely suggest, because it's going to improve the experience overall. It's going to make your website faster, even if the images don't look quite as crisp. But there's also a lossless compression, which compresses it less than the lossy compression, but it also doesn't degrade quality in any way. So, I mean, you can go ahead and I'll go through the process here. Lossy or lossless, lossy, lossless, etc. And then you select your file and go through it. Anyway, so continuing. So that's basically the technical aspect. I do want to go over, I want to see what content management system you're using, because that can also be a contributing factor to your site's load time. Let's see. Most people are using WordPress these days, but I like to just check. Yeah, WordPress. Okay, cool. So you're using WordPress. That's good. I would say probably get a new theme. I don't know exactly what theme you're using, but the fact that the whole thing is 33.3 megabytes, I think, is probably really bad for means that the theme, there's something wrong with it. I mean, there are several factors that lead to that. One of them is the images, and it could be only the images. I'm not sure, because I don't have it right in front of me, but because I don't have the test that I did yesterday right in front of me. It could be the only thing wrong with it, but my guess is that there's also something wrong with the theme. I'm going to go ahead and take you through. Here's what I really like to use. All of my clients use this theme. I mean, sorry, about 90% of them use this theme. It's called Divi, and it's not cheap. I mean, it is $89 per year. You only have to pay once, but if you want to keep getting updates, you pay per year. Themes, and Divi. There's also another theme that's more like towards blogging. It uses all the same modules as Divi, but it's more like geared toward out of the box for blogging. It looks kind of like a journal. It's called Extra. You can use that theme as well. And the reason that I use those is because they're very, very efficient. So in terms of like how quickly your page loads, they're very efficient. They're very small in terms of like the amount of megabytes, the number of megabytes that you're required to, the number of megabytes that you're required to download in order to view the website. So I would definitely suggest using something like this. They're very versatile. So you can make them do basically anything you want. You could even design it to look exactly like your current site. Okay, let's see. I mean, obviously that takes a little bit of know-how, but you can definitely do it. Let's see, what else did I want to say? So the images, the theme, content management system, great that you're using WordPress, and the server. I think the most important thing to your website speed is probably your server response time. Now, I don't know who you're using to host, but that's always my first suggestion. If you want your website load time to be under 1 second, which trust me, you do, if you ever want to make money or get a significant number of subscribers. That's not to say that you can't do that, but you have to build up a really significant and dedicated following on social media. It's much easier if you start out the right way with a good server, good theme, and you know, everything that I've talked about. So you know, I've taken some of my clients who are doing online stores from, you know, a couple 100,000 to millions in through, you know, these kinds of techniques. So anyway, I think that's basically it. Just to wrap it all up, I talked about the compelling copy here with a call to action on the top page. I mean that's the biggest thing that in terms of design, that your blog could benefit from. That way you can collect emails, you can give some information out for free. It would be great if you could give like a guide or something like that. I don't know what this says. Maybe that's exactly what you're doing right here. But If you can like give out a guide in exchange for an email address and collect your email address, come up with some compelling copy, tell them to enter their email address, and then collect it and let them download something. That way they've got some information that's branded to you, and you've got their email address so you can continue, updating them about new progress and whatever else. Okay, cool. So, and then to wrap it up on the technical side, WordPress is great. Compress your images. That's going to be a top priority. Another top priority is getting a theme that runs more efficiently. Oh, Elegant Themes, Divi and Extra are also very friendly. Google loves them because just how clean and efficient they are. A lot of themes are really sloppy, and so that's just another thing to add. The other thing is to find a new host. I host all of my clients' websites, but if you are not one of my clients, these guys are fantastic. These guys are fantastic. It is a bit expensive. It's $29 a month, which, I don't know what you're using, but the cheaper host, Bluehost and HostGator and GoDaddy, they're all, $8 or $9 a month, something like that. But WP Engine is you couldn't possibly go wrong with them. They're absolutely great. They just optimize everything and they put everything on a CDN. They do get quite even more expensive if you want SSL, which, let's see if you got SSL. Yeah, oh no. Oops. They do get a bit more expensive if you want SSL, and if you don't have it, trust me, you want it. No, you don't have SSL. Okay, that's unfortunate. That's something else that you should definitely get if you want. Everything's moving toward SSL. That's basically security. It means that all the information transferred between my browser and your website is secure. Now, it didn't used to be like this in the early days. 10 years ago, even nobody had SSL, and then slowly it became required for credit card transactions because people could snoop on their credit card details. And now it's not required for all websites, but it's becoming more and more required. Not legally or by rules or anything, but Google is favoring websites with SSL, and there's a little. If you go to like my website, for example, my company website, you'll see the little check, or sorry, the lock, the green lock in the upper left-hand corner. If it has SSL, that means that it has that little green lock right there, and so that means your data is more secure. And Chrome is coming out with a new version soon that will basically block any websites without SSL until the reader says, no, actually I want to continue. And so that is when that comes out, it's going to be a huge problem for all sites without SSL. So even though you have only a blog and you don't do financial transactions on the website, it's becoming increasingly important for that to exist. Both in terms of like how people use the web, as well as how Google indexes your website. Okay, let's see. And I think that wraps it just about up. I really hope that this information has been useful to you. If you have any questions, please let me know. All this information is obviously for free. You can use it however you want. You can take it to another web designer if you want. But if you want to take it to the next level, more than just information, that's what I do for a living. So shoot me a message on Instagram, and we can make something happen. Anyway, yeah, cool. Have a good one.